For years together, for years of shared sunrises, whispered promises, and a future we built one day at a time. A cross-country move, leaving behind everything familiar just to start anew. Life side by side, a shared apartment, shared bills, shared dreams. The kind of love that feels like a forever thing. The kind you don't question because how could something so real ever fade? Then, one ordinary Tuesday, he looked at me with calm, detached eyes and said, "We're just on different paths." Just like that. No warning, no fight, just over. And I stood there, heart in my throat, wondering how the person who knew me better than anyone could walk away, like I was nothing, like we were nothing. I told myself it was fine, amicable even. That's what grown-ups do, right? We part ways with dignity. No screaming, no broken dishes, just quiet resignation and a carefully divided life. I moved out. I untangled our finances, or so I thought. I forced smiles and polite texts because that's what you do when love turns into something civil. But then came the moment I realized he wasn't done taking from me. Even after the breakup, even after I packed at my heart and left, he was still using me, still clinging to the last threads of what I could give him. And that's when it hit me. Some people don't just leave. They linger. They take. They assume you'll let them. But here's the thing about underestimating a woman who's already given too much, who's loved too hard, forgiven too easily, bent until she nearly broke. Sooner or later, she stops spending. Sooner or later, she looks at what's left of herself and realizes no more. And oh, when she finally takes back what's hers, it's not messy. It's not dramatic. It's just inevitable, like the tide reclaiming the shore. Quiet, precise, devastating, because the moment you stop giving, that's the moment they realize exactly how much they needed you all along. If you've ever given your all to someone, only to realize too late they were keeping score. If you've ever bitten your tongue until it bled, smiling through the hurt because that's what good people do. If you've ever laid awake at night, replaying every unfair moment, every broken promise, every time they took just a little more than they deserved, then, friend, you're about to hear a story that'll make your soul sit up and cheer. This isn't just another breakup story. This is about that delicious moment when the universe finally tips the scales back in your favor. That instant when the person who thought they could walk all over you suddenly finds the ground crumbling beneath their feet. And the best part, they never see it coming. So if you're ready for some catharsis, if you need proof that sometimes, just sometimes, the bad guys do get what's coming to them, then do me a favor. Smash that like button right now. Let's see how many of us have been in these shoes. Hit subscribe because, trust me, you'll want to hear how this plays out. And get comfortable because we're about to dive into the exact moment I took my ex's selfishness wrapped in a vow and handed it right back to him in the most perfectly petty, absolutely justified way imaginable. This is for anyone who's ever been told they're too emotional for wanting basic respect, for anyone who's had to be the bigger person one too many times, for everyone who's waited patiently for karma, only to realize sometimes you have to give it a little nudge. So take a deep breath, maybe grab some popcorn, because what comes next, it's so satisfying. You'll want to savor every single second. Picture this: Southern California in golden hour, endless sunsets painting the sky in shades of fire, palm trees swaying like they've got nothing to worry about, that salty ocean breeze that somehow makes even bad decisions feel romantic, and car insurance rates so Heidi should come with a complimentary therapist. When we packed up our lives back east, me full of hope, him full of promises, we did what all young couples chasing dreams do. We merged everything. Our tiny studio, apartment with a leaky shower, our grocery bills where I always paid extra for his organic snacks, and yes, his precious BMW's insurance policy, with my spotless driving record tacked onto. Keep those monthly payments from bleeding and dry. For years later, I could still trace the exact moment my future crumbled. It was a Thursday. He was making coffee. Back turned me like always when he dropped the word so casually. We want different things. No discussion. No fighting for us. Just done. He called it amicable, like we were business partners dissolving a failing venture, not two people who'd build a life together from scratch. The irony wasn't lost on me. His different path somehow still detoured straight through my bank account, even after I'd packed up my half of our shared life, taking only what fit in my car, leaving behind the bookshelves we'd assembled together, the plants I'd nurtured. He kept finding ways to tether me to his mess. Thousands of dollars. That's what his fresh start cost me. The cross-country movie begged me to make with him, his sister's destination, wedding where I played the dutiful plus one. Even the down payment on that stupid German-engineered status symbol he cared about more than our relationship. And when I too politely asked him to remove me from his insurance by May, that plastic smile I'd come to recognize, the one that said, "I'll agree to whatever gets you off my back," he nodded along like a perfect gentleman, all while calculating exactly how long he could keep milking my good credit before I noticed. Some people have selective hearing. They'll catch every word about what benefits them but suddenly go deaf when it's time to pay up. They'll remember your password to their Netflix account but forget every IOU. They'll call you emotional for wanting basic decency while skating through life on your generosity. But here's what they always forget: paper trails don't lie, bank statements don't have amnesia, and insurance companies, they keep very good records. The audacity of that text message still burns in my memory, months after he'd walked away from our life together, after I carefully packed up every shared memory, while he pretended not to notice my shaking hands. He had the nerve to ask, "Hey, can you help me move into my new place this weekend?" As if we were still friends, as if he hadn't shattered my heart without warning, as if I hadn't spent nights crying over the future we'd planned while he was already moving on. The casual cruelty of that request took my breath away, like watching someone light a match in a room full of gasoline and acting surprised when everything explodes. I remember staring at my phone screen, my fingers trembling with equal parts rage and disbelief. All those months of being the cool ex, of swallowing my pain to keep things civil, of giving him the gentle breakup he wanted while I drowned in silence. And this is how he repaid that kindness, by treating me like some on-demand moving service. So I did something I should have done months earlier. I told him no. Not just no, but hell no. I told him friendship was earned, not demanded. I told him real friends don't disappear when the checks need to be paid. I told him he didn't deserve a single ounce more of my energy, my time, or my compassion. His response: radio silence. Then click, I was blocked. No apology. No acknowledgement. Just erased. Like, for years of my life had never happened. The finality of that little message not delivered, notification hit harder than the breakup itself. For Months after, I catch myself staring at my phone, half expecting some belated apology that never came. I'd lie, awake wondering if he ever thought about what he owed me, not just the money, but the basic human decency. Did our years together mean so little? Was I just another expense he'd written off? The silent stretch through spring into summer. I rebuilt my life piece by piece. New apartment, new routines, new strength. But one question kept nagging at me. Had he kept his word about anything? Or was I still somehow tangled in his web without even knowing it? Then, July arrived with its sweltering heat, and I realized I didn't have to wonder anymore. I didn't have to play the victim of his forgetfulness. The truth was out there, waiting for me to claim it. All I had to do was ask. That phone call started like any other mundane errand. Just me, my coffee going cold, and the insurance company's hold music, playing that same elevator jazz loop I'd heard 100 times before. But this wasn't just another bill to pay. This is me finally taking back control. Hi, I'd like to check if I'm still listed on a policy under X's name. My voice sounded surprisingly steady, even as my nails dug half moons into my palm. The agent typed away, the clack of keys. Suddenly the loudest sound in my apartment. That pause, that terrible, telling pause, told me everything before the words even came. Yes, ma'am, you're still listed as a secondary driver on his 2018 BMW policy. 6 months, half a year of radio silence, of pretending I didn't exist, of blocking me when I dared to stand up for myself. Yet he'd happily kept my name on his paperwork if it meant saving a few bucks. The irony wasn't lost on me. He discarded our relationship like yesterday's trash, but clung to my clean driving record like a life preserver. Then came the question that changed everything. Would you like to be removed from the policy? I could practically hear the universe holding its breath. All those sleepless nights, wondering if I'd ever stop feeling like a doormat. All the times I bit my tongue to keep the peace. Every dollar he'd promised to repay, but never did. They all crystallized in this single moment. Yes, I said, the word tasting like freedom. Remove me. Effective immediately. The agent's voice turned cautious. Just so you're aware, this will cause a significant rate increase for the primary policyholder. I leaned back in my chair, a slow smile spreading across my face for the first time in months. Let me be very clear, I said, each word deliberate. I don't care. The typing resumed. A final click. And just like that, I was free. $200 more per month. That was the price tag on his betrayal. $200 for every time he'd taken me for granted. $200 for every empty promise. Suddenly, my coffee tasted sweeter. As for his Netflix account, still logged into my TV? Well, let's just say I developed a sudden interest in Mandarin soap operas. Every dramatic confrontation, every over-the-top betrayal scene, I made sure to watch them all. The algorithm would do the rest. By the time he noticed, his recommendations would be a beautiful, confusing mess. Small revenge? Maybe. But sometimes justice comes in subtle packages. And this one fit perfectly. Was it petty? Maybe. Was it justified? Absolutely. Here's the thing people don't tell you about revenge. It's not about being cruel. It's not about sinking to their level. It's about restoring equilibrium to a universe that's been tilted too far in one direction for too long. For 4 years, I gave him my love, the kind that rearranges its entire life to follow someone across the country. I gave him my trust, the type that cosigns loans and shares insurance policies without hesitation. I gave him my money, thousands of dollars that somehow always found a way into his emergencies, his family obligations, his shiny new car. And what did I get in return? Silence when it suited him, blocked messages when I dared to speak up, the slow, creeping realization that I'd been an ATM with a heartbeat this whole time. So yes, I removed myself from that insurance policy. Yes, I cost him $200 extra a month. And yes, I may have creatively reinterpreted his Netflix algorithm. But here's what that really was. It was me taking back my power. It was me proving that my name wasn't just some line item he could keep exploiting indefinitely. It was me showing him, and more importantly, showing myself, that I was worth more than what I could do for him. That $200 premium increase, that wasn't just money. That was the interest on 4 years of emotional debt he'd never repay. That was the universe finally saying enough. And the beautiful part, he did it to himself. All I did was stop enabling him. All I did was close a door he thought would stay open forever. Some people will call it petty. Those people have never had their generosity weaponized against them. They've never known what it's like to give everything, only to realize you were just a convenience someone forgot to be grateful for. This wasn't cruelty. This was balance. This was just as served at exactly 72 degrees. Cold enough to get the point across, but calculated enough to leave no fingerprints. He took my love when it was convenient. He took my trust when it benefited him. He took my money when he needed it. So I took back the one thing he truly valued, his comfort, and that's the kind of priceless lesson that stays with a person. If this story made your heart race just a little faster, if you felt that rush of satisfaction when justice finally got served, then do me a favor, smash that like button right now. Let's see how many people in this community have been where I've been. How many have tasted that sweet, sweet moment when karma finally comes collecting. Drop a fire in the comments and tell me, what's the most delicious revenge you've ever served or witnessed? Was it perfectly petty, brutally justified, maybe even accidentally brilliant? I want to hear your stories of cosmic payback, because let's be honest, we could all use a little more justice in this world. And if you're craving more stories where the underdog comes out on top, where the little guy gets the last laugh, where karma doesn't just knock politely, but kicks the damn door down, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because trust me, this is just the beginning. We've got more stories coming your way. Tales of exes getting their comeuppance, bosses getting their just desserts, and everyday people turning the tables in the most satisfying ways imaginable. Real stories about real people who decided enough was enough. So grab your favorite snack, get comfortable, and stay tuned, because the best revenge stories, they're like fine wine. They only get better with time, and we've got a whole cellar full waiting for you. Until next time, the best revenge is living well, but a little petty. Payback never hurt either.